this thing out. So cool. Here we go, folks. John, this is one cool setup you got here, buddy. This is real impressive. Holy moly. It's not a mobile home, it's a mobile studio. We're super excited to be here. So here's the big question. What possessed you to do this? What made this, hey, did you wake up one morning and say, hey, I gotta become a mobile studio?
Well, I have a marketing background, I have an IT background, and I have a love of vehicles and big toys, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. So about 7 to 10 years ago, I had this idea. Instead of doing video the old way where we'd come in, tape up your windows, move furniture, blow fuses over and over again, I was trying to think, how can I streamline this process to make it efficient, affordable, and yet still look like the big guys? And at that time, it wasn't even possible until products like NewTek TriCaster came around and became affordable that we could be competitive with it. TriCaster has replaced what would have been roomfuls of equipment and would have taken too much power, too many computers, too much heat.
I'm going to guess that this whole system evolved. So when you first put it together, what did you start with? What was I know it's in the truck now, but what was that first show like? What were you running that first show on?
It was the TriCaster all the way. We knew right away it was the first thing we ordered from you guys.
Yep.
The first thing that made it on board. There were cables going everywhere and taped up. It took us about a year to build out this truck, and we would do podcasts and stuff for friends, just for the heck of it. Rip things out every week, rebuild it for the next week, and try again until we work the bugs out. We do podcasts for a doggy daycare company. We did dog music videos. We have all kinds of customers, from political customers to small to medium-sized businesses, religious organizations. Really, almost any company on Long Island can use video in some capacity.
Right now, I just want to run down some of the gear we're using on the show. We've got a TriCaster.
Yes.
And the TriCaster, starts at about $6,000 bucks, but you've got the whole kit from us. That's the kit with the TriCaster, with the control surface, and the travel case, which I guess in your case, that travel case is even more important, because every now and then you got to pack this show up and take it even more on the road.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You've got 4 Canon cameras you're using. Are they Vixias? What Canon cameras are they?
They're the sweet spot, just like our Sony cameras. A lot of times, if you look carefully, you can buy prosumer cameras that have the same sensor as the high-end cameras, because we didn't need features like SDI, and they're just basically stationary cameras. So
audio is probably one of the trickiest things that you can do with one of these systems in audio. And you guys are using a unique mixer that also has an iPad that lets you control the mixer. And that's the little, you actually mix the program using iPad.
We didn't have the option of having room to have a big mixing board with sliders everywhere. We just didn't have the space. So it also, a lot of my operators and employees, we don't come from a sound background. What they do come from is an Xbox background and an iPad background, and it was more natural for them to come on board using that than a traditional mixing board.
You've got this like monster antenna, here it comes, that you put on top of the truck, and that lets you get to see, you're basically sniffing Wi-Fi from all over the place. And since you have an Optimum user, you're just finding available Optimum hotspots, correct?
Yes, yep. Luckily on Long Island, anywhere where we usually need to be, we have very good coverage just from Optimum Wi-Fi, or whatever venue we're at, we'll hop on their Wi-Fi, like we're here on your video guys' Wi-Fi now.
Eddie's sitting there on basically a 4x4 little square in the place. He's trying to run the whole show, and it's kind of crazy. It's not the one he's used to with the setups. We run our show on a TC1. He's running it on the TC Mini, but it still just goes to show you the power of what you get out of a device like this, because we've got the virtual set going. And guys, I swear to God, if you could actually get this camera on, the two of us, so you can see that we're literally in front of a green screen. This is good old-fashioned green screen. I mean, ignore the man behind the curtain, folks. We're giving you a sneak peek of how this goes. But let's just cut right back to the green screen. You can see, here we are in virtual set land. So pretty much most of the stuff here is wired in through what's traditional HDMI audio cable, stuff like that. And you can see it gets kind of messy, but I know we're also starting to help you transition a lot of this stuff to NDI, where you'll be able to add some NDI stuff in there. So Talk to me about NDI and how I could see NDI reducing some of this clutter by a factor of about 50 to 75%.
Absolutely. Well, right now we use a lot of NDI when we're doing hybrid shots of on and off the truck. So we NDI the link back to the truck where we beam it out.
Very cool.
Through the antenna. A lot of people also forget NDI carries audio.
Yep.
So for a lot of the talk shows and such we do, we even have a mobile tablet connected through NDI, and they use it as a soundboard to do sound effects.
Very cool.
So everything on here is almost wireless using NDI.
So that you're going Wi-Fi with the Connect Sparks is what you're using for that. What kind of range have you found you can get on a camera that's outside with your Wi-Fi with that super antenna and everything you have going on?
Line of sight, we could do 300 feet or more very well. There's actually different networks on the truck, so we isolate the NDI traffic because we also have VoIP calls and faxes going on. This is a true mobile office as well, so we keep all that traffic segmented.
Just in general ballpark figures, what does an RV like this cost in the open market?
They cost what a small house costs. We lucked out by getting this one. Has a nice lift gate in the back so we can move equipment on and off also. Right. Don't forget we had to account for things like heat, cold, vibration, and just the general electricity. You know, we've got 2 generators in case one fails, the other goes, and in case that goes, we've got enough battery to do 2 or 3 hours worth of show.
So your workflow is pretty much like the standard workflow that we have in our studio, in our environment, only you're doing it all in a truck, and I think that's just fantastic. This was a real work in progress, and what I mean by that is we actually use someone who's using our stuff, who's using it in an environment that's a mobile environment to create a show right from the parking lot of our offices, of our warehouse space. So this was really amazing. I wish you nothing but great luck with this. And if people have questions about how to do this, if you want to do it yourself, by all means, give us a call. And what I'm also hoping is we get some good questions from folks. We might bring you in to maybe give some guys some advice. Obviously not in the Long Island area, but if there's someone in Chicago or Wisconsin who wants to give us a shot, you know, I'm sure. So thank you so much.